Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your start of a busy couple of days to come and sit. Why do you care about this? I think everybody cares because actionable situational awareness and timely insights is something that we all seek to provide the warfighter. And we have a platform that we believe will deliver that. There's a lot of reading on some of these charts, so I'm going to let your eyeballs do most of the work. But the things I want you to focus on are, highlighted here. Open source environment, freeing up some of our operators to do higher value work, and faster delivery of timely and actionable information to decision makers. Again, I think that's key for all of us. We want that to happen. What we see when we combine data from a number of different sources, we get this type of gain in terms of actionable information. 40% increase in value. And I think you also see that when you give some of the young operators capability that with an intended purpose, quite often they twist it a different way, or sometimes many different ways that you didn't originally plan on, and it's amazing what they do with it. So we're trying to do that with these sort of data platform sources, is combine the data so we get this type of efficiency gains. And just in case you don't believe me, here's some use cases as to how it's being used out there in the field. The intelligence community came to us about 5 years ago and asked us to get involved because we were primarily a commercial company. Most recently, we're now fielding this capability out to the high-risk mission ops areas, and you see where the information is being provided to 700 commercial and federal organizations. And Intel Corporation, within the last year or so, did the same sort of analysis of the marketplace and valued us as being the primary key open source provider of capability, and so they invested over $700 million as a key partner of ours. So I think those are two extremely important proof points of the validity of what we're doing. The thing I want you to point out here is any data streaming or repository. This is a type of architecture that this allows folks to do, and this was how it was used at the Rio Olympics. Again, down at the bottom, millions of data points that were ingested to provide real-time information to people who are walking the streets. Where is it safe? Where is it not safe? Where should I go to? Where should I not go to? Geospatially, again, another instance of how it can be used in a very interesting and complex way. You can see all the different capabilities that are down there as to what it provides to the end user. Can't tell you a particular customer that uses this, but look at the numbers. 250,000 platforms, 800 plus applications, and then the speed of which things are being delivered. Hours versus weeks, billions of rows of data. I mean, that's tremendous. And then the reduced platform maintenance cost of 75%. Again, as an end user, that's the kind of performance that I want in terms of my overall platform. This is the Orion spacecraft. Again, look at the numbers. 2 terabytes per hour of telemetry test data, 1,200 sensors, 300 megabytes per second in terms of the data ingest. To me, that's tremendous. That allows our operators to have a tremendous amount of information available to them that they didn't have before. And when you have information made available to you, it's incredible what is discovered in that sort of data set. Sikorsky, they're using it for fleet health management. And real-time ingest of data, minutes to hours, unified management platform, self-service. And these, again, are characteristics I think are critical for us going forward. And this is what's happened: minimizing unplanned maintenance, optimizing schedule maintenance, extending component useful life, all positive, productive results that I think we want to provide our warfighters. The end result, though, is this is what we're looking to do: reaction time. When we look back at a pivotal event in our history, 9/11, the data was there, the information was there in the data to actually predict what was going to happen, or at least raise our awareness. But we couldn't react to it properly. We couldn't get predictive on it. And that's what we're looking to do with all of this, is just reduce the reaction time. And we believe by providing these types of aggregated data sets and an open source platform, that enables that in a tremendous sort of way. So how do you do this? Well, up until now, what we've been doing is building this IT core infrastructure with a lot of different folks involved in the process. And this is what's been happening, is we have a lot of subject matter experts from both large and small system integrators, along with commercial IT providers involved in this core IT infrastructure. And in addition, the system integrators in the government have been involved in the platform development, the data sources on both the left side and along the top. And I think that's very appropriate. And how I equate that construction to, for those of you who are familiar with Tetris, the game of Tetris, that's what we were doing. And we had to do it that way. We were assembling a best-of-breed core IT platform with a number of different components, trying to piece them together in a speedy fashion so that all these different touch points lined up properly and the data was exchanged properly. That's just hard to do in the time frames that are allotted to us. And we did a great job of it, and I commend the people that have done it, and they're still doing a great job at trying to do this very well. But you don't need to do this anymore, because this now exists in an integrated core platform. And this is what is composed in that core IT infrastructure. These are all the different capabilities that are being built out and added at the speed of commercial IT development. So for people who choose to continue to do that, if our system integrators or our SMEs choose to get involved in this and continue to do this build out of the core IT, what you're trying to do is to stay up with this development, and you're not focusing as much of your time on mission ops, which is where I want your time to be focused, because I want you to catch the bad guys. So we just want you to be aware that this is a very fast and aggressive pace that the commercial folks are putting out there for you that you can take advantage of. So people are using our free version of Cloudera right now, CDH, the DISA Big Data Program, AFRL, the DSIG's open architecture, Palantir even, they use our free stuff. And that's fine. Again, realize the trade-offs that you're making. There's a lot more systems engineering hours. You're not having the SMEs focused on operationally relevant activities. Some of the development is tied to those FFRDCs or system integrators that are piecing this all together. And that's fine. It's just a trade-off that you have to understand that you're making. So our recommendation is this. We can provide that already, shrink-wrapped, ready to go. Shift the focus of the integrators and the subject matter experts and the FFRDCs out to these areas where there's a high payoff of their expertise, because I can't do that, but we have terrific people walking the floor and they're attending this conference today that if we can free up some of their time here, we're going to get a lot more predictive, a lot better at what we do in terms of catching the bad guys. So this is the free version of what we provide right now. In some ways, it's our own worst competitor because it's free. And as I said, Palantir uses it. A number of other entities out there in the government use it. And that's fine because it's a great baseline upon which to build. But this is where we think you ought to go. This is what we have in terms of our enterprise data hub. It has manager and navigator. It has encryption and data lineage, which is extremely important in this world, the validation of where the data is coming from. And it's supported by the open source community. And this is some additional details as to what that provides. Now, we can delve into that a little bit longer afterwards. My systems engineer, Rick Taylor, is over to the side here. We're happy to give you more details on all the capabilities you can get with the Enterprise Edition. But I also want you to understand that we're not doing this alone. This is not Cloudera by itself. We have a tremendously rich and broad ecosystem of partners, and you can see them listed here. We can't do this without them, but we effectively leverage their participation because they're actively engaged in helping shape the development of that platform. And fortunately, we're going to have, following this, Data Robot, who rides up here in the application layer, and they leverage all of this to their benefit as well. Well, the only question I have is, when do we get started? Questions from the audience? No? Okay, well, we're available out to the side. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.